I'd like to ask you what are your current ventures and your pan-India presence?
Okay. Shantan, Yes Institute is Yes Bank's think tank. We've been established about 8 months ago. But Yes Banks has been around for 11 years now, and it's always been a knowledge bank. It's been driven by a knowledge bank. I know Mr. Rana Kapoor from several years ago. He's been a mentor. So I came back to India and we've created a think tank. It's a private sector think tank of which there isn't really any other entity as such except one in India. And we aim to be global in our reach and thought, and really catalyze private capital into development and growth of India. So we're very India focused, wanting to bring the world to India, take India to the world. So in terms of the pan-India presence, Yes Bank is spread across. We are starting with Delhi first. We tried some initiatives here, and then we're going to states like Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and to Andhra Pradesh. So we are looking at very proactive initiatives in these states. We can get into those.
Okay. What kind of, social innovation is Yes Bank or Yes Institute trying to bring about in places like the rural sector, especially,
Okay, let me take the moment to just explain the 4 pillars we chose in the short term for Yes Institute. So those were smart urbanization, because we think urban living is very important with more and more people moving in. We've got social entrepreneurship, which is where I'll answer your question. Got Yes Culture and green economies. So these are 4 areas. Now, on the urbanization side, we can talk about things we're doing with sort of Delhi, Pragati Maidan, etc. We're thinking about them. On reaching the rural, I would say it's more through our green economies space. So, for instance, we're just back from Madhya Pradesh, from southern Madhya Pradesh. We're looking at bamboo agroforestry project there. And so we have an entrepreneur here. We always work in partnership with entrepreneurs. Like the bank itself can't go and itself set up bamboo plantations, but he can. And we are working to build up his company, that will give access to income to the local farmers when they plant bamboos around their fields, or they plant bamboos along the watershed that then prevents the chemicals going into the water. So that's one project. There'll be several more, but let me leave that at that example.
And what about your other designs? As you mentioned, like this is the 4th design which you guys are talking about. So could you please tell me more about your other designs, please?
So I call it the Yes Institute diamond strategy, because it's in the shape of a diamond with 4 angles. So as I said, on the urban design, we are looking at things like, can Pragati Maidan space, we feel it's a dead space, generates a lot of heat. Can that be transformed into a more urban communal space for Delhi residents? So we're working on design. And we, our ultimate partner is the government. We want to work with the government in partnership for India's development. So in the intermediate, we would like to work with people like Niti Aayog, etc. So we will try to provide designs to them, and then hopefully the whole governance system finds that useful. The other one, as we just finished this session on social innovation finance. So here we talked about the social impact bond, which I can tell you more about. So here the idea is, how do you get private investors to come into the development space? You saw one data I quoted, only about 928 families in India hold 20% of the wealth of the country. So I'm sure that there can be transfer of wealth in terms of philanthropy and giving to the great number of people in the country. So there's a design of the social impact bond in there. And culture, we are doing so many things, but let's say heritage cities, and how do we get revenue models out of heritage cities is one. So I think I've covered all the 4 areas: urban design, green economies, culture, and social innovation.
So do you think like the social innovation is the need of the hour for India at present?
Absolutely. Because the idea is, every citizen should have basic standard of living, right? So basic standard in some ways you can say is food, water, health, education, shelter. True. And one of the other indexes I quoted was the Social Progress Index, where India is not doing that well. It's towards the last quartile, which measures how much access do citizens have to basic standards of living, which is food, water, and how much access do they have to opportunities like education. So in that context, social entrepreneurs will come up with the innovations that can address such problems. And that's why we're supporting social entrepreneurs. We want them to come out and develop their ideas. And our role as Yes Bank, Yes Institute will be to bring them funding, try to get them funding so that they can grow and expand their models.
So any kind of CSR activity or organization is associated at present?
Absolutely. I have to say this, that Yes Bank from day one when it was started has been doing CSR activities. So we've done it under a brand called Responsible Banking. It's a division of the bank. We continue to do it. I think last year we did 15 crores plus. This year we hope to do even more. But just related to this conference that we had on social innovation, there's an idea that something like a social venture fund, which is a fund that invests in social enterprises, we can put CSR money there. It's either has become or it's going to become very shortly CSR eligible. When that happens, we think we could put some of our CSR funds into that. And that would meet that whole objective of revolving private capital to meet India's development need. So that's the idea, yeah.